Hi y'all, and welcome back to the channel for part one of the Proven Winners annuals I'm going to be trying out for 2025. It is the beginning of March. I have taken a little bit of an extended break. I have had a hard time, and I don't know if you've had a hard time getting started this spring doing things, or it's still winter, and that's part of my problem, but we have been like 20 degrees below average, our temperatures for most of February. Finally starting to creep up into the 50s and 60s some days. Today's one of those days where it's only like 30 degrees, but later this week it'll be nicer. I think that has put the garden about 2 weeks behind from what I can tell. Last year, I was just looking at some photos today, and I had some crocus and daffodils already blooming last year at this time. So I've noticed one or two crocus flowers, but the daffodils are barely out of the ground still. So a couple weeks behind on the garden, so I haven't been in a huge mood to get things started yet. Gonna start my peppers indoors by seeds today. We'll see if I get to that or not. But today we're here to talk about the annuals that I'm going to be planting from Proven Winners in 2025. So a lot of these are repetitions, but because my annuals are coming directly from Proven Winners this year, I'm able to try some varieties I've never seen locally before. That will be exciting for me, and so I can test them and trial them in our locations, both in the ground and in containers, and see how those perform for this year, and then whether I want to repeat those next year. And so we'll just jump right into it. The first one I grew this past year for the first time is Artist Blue 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. Really beautiful purple bluish flower, also called a floss flower. Spreads about 10 inches wide, gets up to a foot tall. I like to use this one next to the sidewalk or the front of the border, so I lined the sidewalk with it last year. I'm going to put some photos on the screen to the extent I have any of photos from Proven Winners website, or how I've used these plants in containers or the landscape over the previous year. So really great annual for me, performed really well, bloomed nonstop all season, and kind of took the heat. It was east facing, but right next to the sidewalk, next to concrete, kind of the strip right between the brick of the house and the concrete, so a lot of heat and radiated heat there. Performed well for me, even in these soils that have not had a whole lot of nutrition or been regularly taken care of this first year in this new garden and new house for me. The next one is 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. Now, if I was to pick a flower that was one of my favorites last year, it would have been this one. So I ordered them last year and happened to get them in the ground almost last of all the annuals I planted. I did not try this in containers last year. And when I got them in the ground, they had been kind of in a partial shade location. I had been watering them daily to keep them happy because it warmed up so early last year in May, so quickly. And they had been getting too much water from me, and they didn't look great. So when I put them in the ground, I fully expected some of them to not make it. And boy, was I wrong. These annuals exploded, and they were some of my favorite, best pollinating annuals I had last year. Beautiful white flowers, almost kind of Cosmo looking, but super proliferous. And to have done so well in the ground for me, there was almost no fertilizer other than what I put down when I planted them, because I'm just generally don't have a whole lot of time to overhead fertilize anything, and I don't love putting non-organic fertilizer in my actual garden beds, and so I try and avoid that to the extent I can. But they perform so well, and the pollinators love them so much. And these plants got massive, so they'll get up to 20 inches wide, it says, and up to 14 inches tall. And I'd say that's probably right. I probably spaced them a little too close last year, so I need to take that into consideration this year. I'm not sure if I'll use any in containers this year because they just did so well in the landscape. I should probably try with like one. But the performance last year was amazing, so I'm definitely repeating some of those. And because the Campfire Marshmallow did so well, I'm trying another variety of Bidens this year as well. And that Proven Winners variety is called Goldilocks Rocks, and it's kind of a yellow, completely yellow version of the Campfire Marshmallow. Similar sizing, up to 20 inches wide, 14 inches tall. And because I have extra Bidens to use, I'm going to try these in the landscape and in containers. So I think I'm getting just a flat of each, so that's about 20 plants total, 10 and 10, but I'm really excited about both of these after how the performance did last year in the landscape. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you've probably noticed I've never planted a whole lot of coleus. A couple years ago, I ended up doing a whole coleus container in the hay racks on my front porch. Really loved how that turned out. But before I did YouTube and started my channel, I did plant coleus, the 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 series, in the landscape, and they performed so well. But they're kind of hard to find around here sometimes, and so I haven't really had them in the landscape or the garden since probably the 2020, maybe earlier than 2020. Maybe the 2019 time period. So this year I'm getting Wicked Witch, which I planted in the landscape before, and it did incredibly well at my last garden. They get really big. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 coleus are known to not produce seeds as quickly, so you don't have to worry about them producing seeds, and they just get really prolific in your garden and can take some sun and shade. So they're a good versatile plant. I'll probably be planting them in containers and in the landscape, but I really want to try them in the landscape after the performance I got of the last variety. So super excited about trying @𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 Wicked Witch again. The next coleus is 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 Chocolate Drop, which I used in the containers, the hay rack containers in at my last house. And I really love Chocolate Drop. It's a trailing coleus. There's one called Cherry Drop I don't tend to like as much just due to the coloring, but Chocolate Drop is like a brown to black and green coleus that just is a really nice spiller for any of your containers, and it's pretty prolific. So I'm excited to try that one again as well. Chocolate Drop, it says it can get 2 foot tall and 2 foot wide, but I wouldn't consider it to be a filler or a thriller in your containers. I would consider it a spiller, because if you give it area to spill over, it's definitely going to exhibit that spilling habit more than the thriller filler. The next one is Diamond Frost Euphorbia, which I always have. Nearly every year I've grown annuals in containers have had Diamond Frost Euphorbia. Last year I planted in a couple containers, and I had some other Proven Winners annuals kind of take over the Diamond Frost Euphorbia, so it's one that's not super prolific. So pair it with something that's not like a Super Tunia Vista bubblegum or a really like strong sweet potato vine. You might want to put it with some other fillers that are not quite as crazy. Like maybe the Artist Blue Ageratum would pair really nicely and be that purpley blue flower with this very like ethereal foliage and tiny flowers from Diamond Frost Euphorbia. But I love this one. I always have it. It is a great textural element to all sorts of containers. I'm trying some Proven Winners begonias this year, and so I've never grown any of the Proven Winners begonias. So the first one I'm trying is Apple Blossom, which is that color combination that's right up my alley. The pink, corally, orange, soft pale yellow, all kind of like in the same bloom. So it kind of fades there. It can get roughly 14 inches wide or 14 inches tall by 2 foot wide. So it's a pretty vigorous begonia. And I've not grown a whole lot of begonias other than bedding begonias before. So I'm excited to try this one as well. And then along with that, Double Delight Apple Blossom, I'm going to be trying Double Delight Pink, or Double Up Pink. Double Up Pink gets about 14 inches wide and 18 inches tall. So it also can be a pretty big petunia, but all of the flowers are this beautiful pink double color, which is really nice and would look really good in containers paired with some of these other things I'm talking about, or on their own. I like to surround my boxwood spirals with begonias every year, so I might be using those in this location. And they just perform so well. Give them plenty of water and some nice sun, not all day baking sun. They tend to do a little better with part sun. Mine are on the east side of the house, and they get morning sun from the east side, and then they're protected by the house after lunchtime. So that nice morning sun, and they've performed really well for me. The next one I'm excited about that I've never grown before is Gold Dust Mecardonia. I don't know if you've heard of this one before. The first time I was introduced to it was in Michigan at Garden Crossings, which is owned by Heidi, who does content on Instagram and YouTube as well. And I was like, what is that plant? Because it's so interesting. It has tiny, delicate yellow flowers, and she used it as a front of the border plant as well. So I imagine this might be going next to the sidewalk. Can be a little bit spready. It's a 20 up to 20 inches wide, 5 inches tall. So a really slow, like ground cover almost, but it just kind of sparkles and kind of radiates from a distance, and it just makes you want to come up and look at it. So I've never seen it locally, so this is something that I was excited to be able to get with my Proven Winners order this year. So really excited to try Gold Dust 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲, and I may be pronouncing that and butchering that name, but it's still beautiful. The next one is Golden Butterfly Marguerite Daisy. Now I tried this one last year, performed incredibly well. It was one of the first ones that kind of just like exploded in the spring and got really big really quickly. But July and August, it started to decline, and I ended up pulling them out of the garden around August because they looked really bad and they were slowly dying. We had had an onslaught of rain after a very tough dry summer, and the more rain we got and the like wetter the ground got, the more they began to decline. So trying these again this year. I'm going to put them in a little different location, not where they were, because I planted some yellow perennials in their place after I pulled them out last year. Maybe somewhere that gets some water but is a little more well draining, because this front garden bed where I planted them is brand new. There is some clay soil out there, so maybe they just need a little bit drier conditions. So try and give them a little more favorable conditions and see if they do well. And also probably be trying this one in container, because I can give it those better free draining soils, and they got really big really quick. So really excited to try this one in more like favorable conditions. And that is it. So hopefully you got an idea of the color palette that I'm looking for this spring. Very traditional with what I usually go for as far as my containers. I am getting a ton of Crescent Garden containers this year from the Flex series, which I'm really excited to add to my garden, because they're, one, self-watering, and two, they are affordable, and a lot of people can add them and take care of their garden super easily without having to constantly put in drip irrigation or hand water every day in really hot conditions. I know it's been a rough winter. I have taken the longest time getting back into things, but we had snow on the ground for almost 6-7 weeks here, and it was below freezing for most of that time, which was not fun. Very, very long, rough winter for me. But now that the sun's out again, as you can tell from the window behind me, and it's warming up, this week we'll be getting in the 50s and even potentially approaching the low 60s. I am feeling a little better about the gardening season. So I'm going to get started in doing a little more content outside when, over probably the next couple weeks. I'd traditionally be able to get out about mid-March, but as I said, we're about 2 weeks behind, so we'll see what happens this year. Thank y'all for watching, and stick around for part 2. And remember, be a light. Take care. Bye.